I am here today wanting to share with you guys the questions and the comments and the pros and cons of my amp, my signature amp that was built. Um, it's an amp like no other. That is for sure. I can guarantee that because it's a one of a kind. And I am still trying to get used to this new little thing about toy that I have. Yeah, so I wanted to start off with saying good morning. And it's time to wake up, people. It's time to wake up. Yes! And this is kind of crazy. So, what happened was recently, a couple of weeks ago, I got my custom amp built and sent to me from Verellen in Seattle. And I had a phone call conversation with him maybe about 3 months ago, 3.5 months ago now, and I was saying I kind of want to shove three of the best amps that I have, that I play, I own, and I wanted to know what they feel like, sound like, the features on the amps, things, simple things like that. I really wanted to capture in the amp. Okay, so um, the other video that I did do, I used an iPhone camera for the video, and yes, I know it's not the best sound quality audio wise to do, but I was so excited about the video. I was actually gonna just talk about the amp and the features, but it ended up being this whole other I was like, I'm gonna grab my guitar and we start playing, and then it just came out. Um, so later on today, or after this live video, I am going to start the process of um, loading up all of my amps, not all of them, but the amps that I was really trying to tailor my amp after, which was a 1991 Rivera TBR 1M amp. And there's features in that amp. I'll go over each amp and each feature of the amp that I wanted in my signature amp. The other amp was a Mesa Boogie Mark III, 1985 hand-wired black dot issue, and the things I liked and loved about that amp. And then also I wanted to have some of the flair, or the sound characteristics of a Verellen amp, which I heard via only YouTube videos that I saw online. And there was a characteristics about it that was very organic, was very in your face, and it was very brutal. But there was something lacking from that as well that I wanted to, that's why I wanted to crash them all together. There's not, there may be hints of a Marshall sound in there, maybe not. But so again, the amps that we're talking about are actually the Mesa Boogie Mark III, my 1991 Rivera TBR1M, also the Verellen Distortion characteristics that I heard from the Skyhammer, and then a third amp of mine personally would be the Beast of Fire. I did a video on that on my YouTube and on Facebook a while ago. But so you take those three amps, and for me and the genre that I play, which is metal, and what I wanted was kind of like a perfect metal amp. So when I put out the video and I posted it on YouTube and I said, "Oh, best metal amp ever," it wasn't saying that my amp was the best metal amp ever. There's 3 question marks following that. And what I really wanted from you and the audience and the people out in the world was what of the amp that you liked? What did you not like? What things I could do to make the amp suitable for you as well? And that's kind of where in the next month or two these videos will be posted. And it's going to be trying to get all the information and gather all kinds of input from all of you guitar players out there, you metal heads, you hard rock players, everything. I wanted the gambit of where you guys are all professionals. I look to you to see if I'm in check, and I'm watching you to see if you're in check. And I have no problem checking people, and people have checked me. So I really want to keep it like that. So if I could create a metal amp that all of you love, and there was all tidbits of things that you liked and disliked about it, taken out of the amp and put in the amp, then I'd have a better chance at trying to manufacturing these amps, because I want to eventually, maybe not this year, but definitely 2018 is going to be groundbreaking of the final design of this amp. We may go through a couple of different stages of this amp. We may have this right now is Augustine Mark 13 1.0. In a couple of weeks, or hopefully in about a week or two, it's going back to the shop. There's things I wanted to add to it, and things I wanted to adjust on the amp that I kind of felt was very necessary to have done to the amp. So with that said, having you guys give me a lot of critiquing, a lot of positive, very little negative, I was super happy that it was very minimal. I had some Xlll, which is butt, which is the backside, which is ASS, you know, come keeping this G rated, because I got friends out there that appreciate me not swearing. Randy Williams, and want to give a shout out to them as well. But you know, I just really wanted you guys to it wasn't a cocky statement like best amp in the world, you know, best metal amp ever. Just wanting to get that out in the front so you guys don't try and go like, it's not the best amp, this amp's the better one, blah blah blah. So you know, I want your guys' input. If I can create an amp, a metal amp, that is better than or equal to the amps of the metal amps you playing, then I'm on the right track. I would not try to manufacture this amp if it was poop. I would not want to BS any of you out there that you guys are all in the world, you know, so I wouldn't want to BS anybody about what the amp can do, how it performs, the characteristics, the sound, the punch. I wanted high quality build. This is all hand wired. This is all tubes. And this is where this video is just basically a live answering questions of what people wanted to know. So on the, let me try and get this thing going over here. So on the amp itself, let me see. Okay, let me take you to the amp. And wanting to get a little bit closer up in here, I'm gonna do one of these things. Okay, so what you're gonna see is the cabs that the speakers that I'm using in this cabinet are actually the speakers that I'm using in this cabinet is on the right side stereo, there's two Celestion Greenback 25s, and then on the left side in stereo is a Greenback 25 on the top and a Vintage 30 on the bottom, right? So now we go back into the amp. Okay, here's the from left to right, there's your input for the guitar. The first knob is supposed to be a knob that when you dial it in at 12 o'clock, that would be your regular strength of your pickup. That would be what you want. Like, oh, okay, this is my pickups that I put in the guitar, and this is how it's supposed to be. So that's the first knob on the far left is actually that knob. I'm trying to get a little closer without having to move around too much. Okay, the second set of knobs, 4 knobs there on the left, is actually my clean channel, which is a very simple, very simple channel. It's the first knob is a volume, then you got your bass and your mid-range and your treble. The bass and the treble knobs pull and pop, give you more focus, more depth, and the treble knob, when you pull it, brightens up. It's a bright switch. Okay, there's no gain channel on that at all. I wanted it to be super sweet sounding. I wanted it to completely be round, full, warm, glassy, creamy, kind of like a, you know, like a little coffee, you know, so to say. So okay, so we got that going on right there. So second off, the second set of 5 would be your overdrive channel, which I call beast mode or brutal mode, which would be the first knob there would be your overdrive channel volume. The second, third, and fourth knob is your bass, mid, and treb, and again it does the same thing. It pulls and pops, and the bass and the treble is a bright and a focus, a deep switch. and the low end is really low. So you gotta kind of, it's sensitive right now. So you don't need much. The last two on the right is your presence and your master output volume. In the back of the amp, there's DIs, there's reverb, and there is a bunch of different options of speaker connections that you could use on the amp, which would make it a lot better. So wanting to just have options for stuff that I would normally do, and you know, I can go straight to the board if I want to. I can go straight in the, you know, I just record. And so okay, now what I took from the amps that I liked, the Rivera 1991 TBR 1M, I took the option of what they called the Piquant Button. And it's not the same, it's not circuited the same and all that. It just does the same thing. And it gives you to where at 12 noon, you are actually at what your pickup is rated for. Now, if you was to dial it back down and you was at 11 or 10 o'clock, you are going to weaken the signal strength of that pickup. So you can have a different color if you wanted to. If your pickups were hot, you can drop them down and you can pop it back in, and then you don't want like an EMG or a battery style pickup, like active pickup. You can kind of roll it down a little bit. Now, for you Fender players out there, that I've played a Fender for metal, and tell you what, man, that thing is amazing for doing metal. I had a 1 out of 50 aluminum Fender. I played that with metal, and the thing is, you know, I always wanted hotter pickups. So now say you have a single coil pickups and you want a little hotter, so at like 3 or 4 o'clock you'll be pumping some massive input into the amp in the preamp stages, which would give you a hotter pickup. Okay, so now if you love your pickups how they are, then great, keep it where it's at. And that was one of the features that I liked about the Rivera. Okay, now on to the 1985 Mesa Boogie Mark III. What I love about all of the Mark series amps is that the older style ones gave you these pull and pop features. So now you have your regular volume, your input, your tones, and all that stuff, but you can set up a different characteristics. You can pull this, you can make it brighter, you can change it, you know. And I like that you could have fun with the amp. You know, it wasn't just, oh brother, just your simple kind, you know, bass, middle, treble, and that's all you get. You know, no, this is kind of like, hey, I can dial my bass down to like 7 o'clock, but if I pull it, it deepens and it comes fuller, and it's a different type of low end on the stage that you're in, you know. So it gives you so much more color to paint with. And that was a big thing that I really enjoyed about the Mark series amps, was the options to do that. And again, nothing wrong with any of my amps. As you know, I have a bunch of amps, and I should be able to at least say like, hey, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about amps and tone and distortion and crunch, because I have probably like some of the best metal amps in the world. Not all the custom ones out there, but as far as commercialized amps, I probably have them all. And so I really love the gain stage in the Mesa Boogies, the Mark series. One thing that I had a little thing with was the gain stage, and the saturation is super heavy. Yeah, I know, turn down the gain. Yeah, but certain parts of the amp, when you're chugging rhythms, you want that chunk, you need that. But then now when you break down in the individual notes and you separate the notes, you kind of lose the definition and the clarity of each note. So I really like, you know, I play a lot of things fast with my left hand, that is rhythmic, that is on the bass side of the spectrum, or the mids, you know. And I really wanted something that could pick up the movement of my fingers, which I really, you know, I felt like I was lacking it was like, it's not doing what it needed to do, you know. Let me give you a full picture of the amp again. Yeah, so that's it. And then so a lot, I swear, a lot of positive comments. Yes, I'd love to sell these amps. Okay, so price point on the amp, I'm still working out what what my cost will be in to do a production run of these amps. So I have to finally dial in the amp first, right? And then second would be creating a mini version of this, since again I really like the Mesa Boogie Mini Mark V, and I like the compactability of it. I like the lightness, I like the weight, and I like how much power comes with a little punch. And you know, you got a 10 watt, 25 watt monster, right? So these minis would probably be a 15 watt monster, but we're trying to hone in how to keep the character of the monster, the big brother, right? And that I think is the hardest part. So again, once we get this refined and dialed in, I will move over into making a mini Augustine Mark 13. So those were the features that I really liked about the Mesa Boogie. So on my okay, so now when you look at the Verellen distortion channel on the Skyhammer, it literally sounds like a chainsaw cutting through the tone, and it's crazy, man. It is really crazy. And I wanted that characteristics mixed in with the Mesa, mixed in with the options of the Rivera, you know. And then the Beastifier, here we go, a triple rectifier, 150 watt animal. I wanted it to be also there. So now when you're talking power and volume and headspace and headroom, holy crap, man, that thing is loud. So I mean, all of you tube guitar amplifier guys know that your amp, if it's a 50 watt or 100 watt, is not going to sound good unless you dial it up, you have the right amount of wattage being pumped into the speakers, and then you have the perfect marriage of tone. But when it's turned down, you're not getting that punch anymore, the reaction time. So again, this is a beast. The power, the headroom is so big that it's loud in here. So my other video is like my voice was really soft, but I was talking loud. I had earplugs on, and the guitar was just screaming right behind me, and that was only 50 watts. So I am right now, after this live video, I am going to set up my studio. I'm going to have the Mark III, the triple rectifier, the Rivera amp, and my custom Augustine Mark 13 signature prototype, and I'm going to run them through a Marshall half stack and my Mesa Boogie half stack to give you guys different colors. I will be using an SM58 microphone, and I picked up another mic. Let me go get it. Let me let you guys stare at my guitars for a little bit. Okay, so while I'm talking, you can see this, but you're gonna see me walk past anyway. So you know what? You guys are just gonna stare at my guitars. So, okay, let me see. I just bought this. Gonna use it for vocals, but I've heard good things about this, and what I've heard is that let me just give you this picture. Okay, so this is the SM7B. Okay, I am going to use the SM58 and this SM7B, and if you notice, it has like a cannon style, you know, where you can point and shoot, and you have a different style for like the vocals and stuff like that. But I'm gonna use this as well. I want to give it a different type of sound. Okay, so that's gonna be the real video, where it's gonna be all elaborate and pretty, and you're gonna have correct audio files and sound files. I'm also going to camper my amp at 1.0. I'm gonna camper it like this because I want it to, you know, just in case when you change it around, sometimes you never get that original sound back. So while the amp is in its brand new condition at 1.0, I am going to profile it. And a lot, okay, so there was probably right now about 14 people out there, you know who you are, that want to buy this amp or want to buy an amp like this. Thank you guys so much. I need to address that because that is like an honor that you guys even gave that kind of feedback on comments, Messenger, and on YouTube. And that's where I want the price point to be affordable, but you're buying quality. That's a core piece on there on the front plate that you get to use, and I really would like it where, you know, I mean, you can buy a head for like a Mesa Boogie head for like $1,900 2,800 or 2,800 now, depending on the amp. So I want this to be affordable, and that's where once it's dialed in, all said and done, what is the monster gonna cost? What is it gonna take to make it affordable for all of you that want to buy it? I'm looking at hopefully making a run of 20 amps for the startup, 50 to 100 watt switchable amps, and then 10 minis, because I know the minis will sell faster. But they're all hand wired, they're all tube. In this version of 1.0, we have two EL34s and two 6L6s as the power tube stages. We have 7 preamp stages. The DI, the presence, the reverbs, all the gain stages, they're all 12AX7s, ECC 88s or 83s or whatever those are. I forgot them offhand. And they're all JJ tubes. So I really want you guys to be able to afford it. That is bar none. Now, for all of my Kemper, my Kemper friends and familia out there, yes, I'm going to profile this amp. Yes, the profiles will be available, but I might, since this is one of a kind, I might have to, when you guys ask for a profile, I'll send you guys a version of it. But if you want the whole gambit with different mic options, different cabinet options, speaker options, because when I usually do a Kemper profile, you guys are getting 8 cabs worth of profiles. You're sometimes getting two different microphone profiles, and then you're also getting 2 to 3 different mic placements on the profile. This would be the clean and the heavy channel. I'm not really focusing so much on the clean for you guys, but I might tonight, depending on the time, restraints that I may or may not have. And also want to do a playthrough with the video. That's the thing, it's going to take a while because I want to do a playthrough of an Augustine 313 song where I'm using my signature, I'm using the Rivera, I'm using the Beastifier, and I'm using the Mark III. So you can hear it change distortion and color as the song is playing, and I can isolate and make one left, one right, and let you guys do the whole judging for yourself. How's it sound in a mix? So that was another thing people wanted to know. What does it sound like in a mix? I go, honestly, I don't know. I'm going to find out today. I've been very, 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 very busy, extremely busy. My videos have been going down to my usual every Sunday video. It's been like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and I'll do a little pop in here, or I'll repost an old video. But no, it is time for you guys to get a real video. I really appreciate all your help, your support. Again, any questions about the amp, let me know. I am now going to go look at the comments that were made. Ruby, my cousin, said hello. What's up, cuz? What's up? Reese, it's a machine of an amp, brother. Yes, it is. It is a machine, and you can't stop the machine. Right on, man. Randy Williams, nice. Right on, my brother. Heather Roll, thumbs up. All right. Luis Torres, 1 Rivera, 2 Mesa Mark III. Engineer, yes. Marshall Squish. Beastifier, is that a rectifier? I have to watch your old video of the Beastifier. Yes, you do. That's a killer video. That one's a really nice video. Right on, Lewis. Thank you for the comments. Dustin Stone, Beastifier sounds amazing via Kempa. Oh yeah, it does. That's one of the Beastifier Kemper profile sounds killer with the Roadster 212 Vintage 30 cabinet that I got, sealed back cabinet. That one sounds wicked. Dustin. Dick B. What good shout out from Myrtle Beach. What's good? By the way, your gear is fire, man. Thank you, brother. Everything's doing good here in the Hawaii. Everyone says Hawaii, but it's actually Hawaii. And yes, everything's doing good. The volcano stopped flowing. It stopped. No more. Dustin, Tomb Radley, is it a fork? It's a chicken, Tomb. It's a chicken. Dustin, give us the cleans. You'll get the cleans. I'll give you cleans. All right, Chase. You know what? That's work, Dustin. That's a whole other gambit. I gotta set the mics differently. All right, and my sister. I can't believe I have to watch Facebook Live to see my Ohana. Love you, my brother. Love you, Carlene. my sister. She's awesome in Colorado. Want to give the Ohana and Familia in Colorado a nice shout out from Hawaii. And I have your sister in the kitchen, and she's cooking me some bacon chowder with some corn and some grilled cheese tuna sandwiches, Carlene. Mwah! It's gonna be awesome. So Rich, I said hello. All the children, I said hello. And all right, Dustin. It does sound wicked. That's what I mean. And another thing, guys, what should I name the amp? I don't know. It's like it's too glorified for me to go, hey, it's an Augustine amp. I was thinking wicked amps would be another name for the amp. Again, this is just a prototype. It's still in its phases, and but it's always gonna be a Mark 13. Yeah, and they all will have maiden paint on them. So, right on. Thank you guys. Please, Rich is hi. What's up, Rich? My brother in life over there. And but please share the video. Please get this out there. I would love to be able to do something else in the world to create income and abundance, and to be able to do that via music would be a dream come true, would be the best goal ever. But right now, you just got to keep doing what you do. Keep scrambling the eggs how you scramble them. Don't change what works. Stay positive, stay focused, stay in alignment. Never ask for money, always ask for abundance. Just be happy with who you are. Be kind to others. Respect everyone's emotions, feelings, and all that kind of a jazz. Even when they write negative comments like, your amp sucks. Your amp sucks, buddy. It sucks. And then I go, that's great, but I don't care, honestly. I mean, I'll just keep the amp for me. I don't need to, I don't need to manufacture nothing. But out of hundreds of people that liked it and loved it, there is that always gonna be that one dude that wants to spam your stuff because he's mad that he's playing a solid state amp, and instead of just be nice and maybe down the road he pick up on Kemper and I throw him the profile, yeah, always gonna have people like that. So you just gotta burn bright, let it go. Yeah, sis, stay positive. She get him. And yes, the Pele is sleeping. She not up anymore, Mr. Tomb. And it is the tasty fire. It is very tasty. So is your riffs, Dustin. But yeah, guys, I'm rambling on. I need to start carrying amps and setting up stuff. I might do a little privy live before I start to let you see what the setup is. And again, let me know your suggestions on how to make this amp where you would want to buy it. And I'm Jeremiah Augustine, and I approve this message. Made in pain, you guys. Much love to the Ohana out there in the mainland, in the world, in France, in Sweden. All of you guys in United Kingdom, the Philippines, Egypt. Man, it's been great being able to pick up a lot of you guys on Facebook and be able to have conversations of music, metal, life, gear, guitars, cars, chicken. Chicken. Right on, you guys. Thank you. I'm out. Yeah.